Welcome to another edition of Bases and Balls with Guardians broadcaster Jim Rosenhaus. Takes time to join us each and every week. And Bases and Balls is brought to you by the Old 97 Cafe in Akron. Rosie, I guess let's start out first of all and go to the game on Wednesday where we saw one of our former Rubber Ducks get his pitching debut. And Bibee looked pretty darn good on the mound. And I know it's only one start, but I thought maybe you could give your look at how he did on the mound. Tanner did well.
Right, he absolutely did. And man, not that long ago in Akron, too. I mean, he moved quick, and that's been the story of his career so far. And, you know, he didn't look like he was awed by the moment or anything like that. And Ray, it's so impressive because that's two starts on this just completed homestand where young men made their major league debuts and they pitched great. You could argue that Logan Allen and Tanner Bibee had two of the best pitching performances of anybody this season for the Guardians, and that's saying a lot. So really exciting yesterday to see Tanner Bibee. I mean, he has great stuff. You start with a fastball in the mid to upper 90s, and then his changeup was excellent. His breaking stuff was really good, and he had the Rockies off balance all game. So really exciting. As Tito says, you don't put anyone in Cooperstown based on one start, but even if it went poorly, you don't let that define their career. But you certainly take a day like yesterday, and certainly that's something that Tanner Bibee will always remember.
And Rosie, that's kind of in line what you and I talk a lot about when you and I visit in the month of January about the pipeline of pitching in this organization. And we've had it here with Logan Allen this week and Bibee, Hunter Gaddis, and Battenfield. There's a pipeline coming of more pitchers, and there's even more behind those guys still to come. And that's what this organization is about, pitching.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I know Gavin Williams is one of the next big names on the radar. And it sounds like his time in Akron may be coming to an end, and he might be on the move to AAA. So, you know, you have to do it that way. If you're a team like the Guardians and a size of market like they're in, and I know, you know, it's hard for fans sometimes to think of it that way, but you can't go out and buy the type of pitching that they need. You have to develop it, and they have figured out a way to develop pitching and keep it healthy for the most part. And that's the key. If you can do that, then you have a chance to have a good season. And I mean, look at this year. They've lost a really good young arm in Tristan McKenzie and a quality major league starter in Aaron Savali for extended periods of time. And I think on the mound, they really haven't missed a beat. So that's a great thing and a testament to the development.
In my viewpoint, no other organization does it better than the Guardians in develop pitching. I mean, you can count on it year in, year out. There's going to be someone to plug in. Now let's talk about hitting. We got the Josh Naylor home run yesterday early in that contest. You see every at bat. It's no hidden thing. We've struggled at the plate a little bit so far this year through the first month. Are you starting to see some signs of these guys starting to come out of this funk?
You know what, Ray, I'm going to say not really. And I know that's a terrible thing to say, but just from the standpoint of they scored 7 runs on Sunday and then really had a hard time the next 2 nights. So yes, yesterday was encouraging, of course, but you know, they know, and they'll need to get it rolling, you know, on a much more consistent basis than they have. And it's way too early to tell on that. But yesterday was a positive for sure. Wednesday, you know, with Naylor's home run and put them in front early, which was nice. They hadn't had the ability to play with a lead for a while. So that was good. And hopefully they can build off of that. They've had some other good games and just haven't been able to build off it. So maybe Wednesday's game is a jumping off point. And you mentioned Naylor. Bell's been going a little bit better, Josh Bell. So that's good. And Stephen Kwan starting to get into a pretty good rhythm here, and Ahmed Rosario the same. So you're starting to see some good things, and hopefully it continues.
Maybe it goes with the temperature warming up a little bit. Who knows as well? But yeah, bats were nice to see the other day. And speaking of bats, Manny Ramirez is going to go into the team's Hall of Fame this summer. And Rosie, you're a baseball fan like I am. From the right-hand side of that plate, in the 90s and into the early part of the 2000s, there might not have been a better right-handed hitter, and we got to enjoy him here in Cleveland for some time.
Yeah, and look, he played for a couple of other teams in his major league career after Cleveland, but that time with the Indians back in the 90s was really special for so many reasons, for so many players, and Manny was a big part of that. And starting as the kid, the young kid, joining a team that was rolling already, and then became such a huge part of it. So kind of a slam dunk to have him in the Cleveland Baseball Hall of Fame. And 165 runs driven in a single season, still a franchise record. I can't imagine that's going to be broken by anybody. so something to be said for that. You know what, Ray? I first saw him in 1992 when I was doing the games for Kinston at Single A, and Manny Ramirez. You could see it already. He was an RBI machine. Not necessarily with home runs and doubles, things like that, but you knew if there was a runner in scoring position or a guy at third with less than 2 down, he was going to put the ball in play and get the run in. And the biggest testament was he broke his hamate bone that year shortly after the All-Star break, and the team went right in the tubes after that. They were down in the dumps after that because he meant so much to them then. And then, of course, when he got here to Cleveland, he just took off.
That will be coming up in the second week of August, I believe. Dale Mitchell and Manny Ramirez will go into the team's Hall of Fame. One of those teams that Manny went on to play for was Boston. And Rose, it's a difficult trip here going into Boston, Fenway Park, a team that's scoring some runs. And then it's never easy going into the Bronx to take on the Yankees.
No, it's not. And so this will be a challenge. There was so much talk about the stretch of Washington, Detroit, Miami, and Colorado, and then they needed to make some hay and all that kind of stuff, and it didn't work out. They did not dominate those teams the way I think they thought they would, but the Guardians generally tend to play better when the calendar starts to turn to May and the weather warms up a little bit. So yeah, they're going into some tough places, and we'll see how it goes. They always like the challenges, and they'll have some on this road swing.
All right, there you go, Jim Rosenhaus, Guardians broadcaster, bases and balls. He takes time out of his schedule to join us each week here on WAKR, WAKR.net. Rosie, as always, thank you for the time, my friend. Much appreciated.
Ray, this is my schedule. Doing the Ray Horner Show. Come on now.
Thanks, Rosie.
You got it.